As tensions between the United States and Iran continue to dominate headlines, a much bigger question is beginning to emerge in Washington. Could the economic fallout from this conflict end up costing Republicans at the ballot box? While President Donald Trump and his administration continue balancing diplomacy with military pressure, a political clock is ticking, and it may be moving faster than many expected. The concern isn't just about what happens on the battlefield. It's about what Americans are feeling every single day when they pull up to a gas station. At the center of the crisis is the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil shipping routes. For months, Iranian attacks have severely disrupted traffic through the strategic waterway, creating shockwaves across global energy markets. Even if the strait were reopened tomorrow, experts warn that the damage has already been done. According to energy analysts, trapped oil tankers, damaged infrastructure, and massive supply chain bottlenecks could keep markets unstable for months. In fact, some experts believe normal oil flows may not return until late in the year, dangerously close to the November midterm elections. And that's where the political stakes become enormous. Americans are already feeling the impact. The national average price for regular gasoline has surged to over $4.24 per gallon, a dramatic jump from just over $3.14 a year ago. For families struggling with everyday expenses, higher fuel prices mean more than just expensive trips to the gas station. Transportation costs rise. Delivery costs increase. Grocery prices often follow. According to economic estimates, the conflict has already cost American households roughly $100 billion over the past 3 months alone. That's about $750 per household. Political strategists are increasingly asking whether voters will blame global events, or the leaders currently in power. Some Republican insiders worry that even if the conflict ends soon, the economic pain may linger long enough to shape voter perceptions heading into election season. One strategist summed it up bluntly, saying the timeline for avoiding political consequences may have already passed. Meanwhile, critics argued that Americans care less about geopolitical victories and more about what they're paying at the pump. Supporters of the administration see things differently. They point out that global conflicts often create temporary market disruptions and argue that the White House anticipated these challenges from the start. For many families, this debate isn't about politics. It's about budgets. It's about deciding whether to fill the gas tank completely or stretch another week. It's about rising costs showing up everywhere, from commuting to work to putting food on the table. And as uncertainty continues overseas, millions of Americans are wondering how long the economic pressure will last. The battle over Iran may eventually be resolved through diplomacy, military deterrence, or a combination of both. But the economic consequences could prove far more difficult to reverse. As the 2026 midterm elections draw closer, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The real political battlefield may not be overseas. It may be at America's gas stations, grocery stores, and kitchen tables. And if prices remain high, voters, not politicians, will ultimately decide who pays the price. What do you think? Will Americans view these economic challenges as a temporary consequence of a global conflict, or could rising costs become USA breaking news?